All right. Hey everyone, it's Kristi and I am on camera. Hello. I don't know how much interest this is going to have, and I don't know how this is going to go as a format, but I'm doing a sort of live to camera Sunday morning hangout. I am all set here to go to listen to some rap from YouTube artists. I didn't realize it when I went to throw on my Hamilton sweatshirt because it's warm and cozy. I was also drinking out of my Hamilton coffee mug as well. So very much a hip hop theme going on this morning. Right, guys. So as I said, this is something very different for me. And the basic idea behind this is I know that with the autumn, things going on in my life, I haven't been producing as much content lately. I think the most recent big thing that I did was the concept of rape culture in the last hangout like this. But those topics are pretty heavy. American politics, we've made it through the midterms, but now it's time to turn to do the last half of the presidential administration. I needed a break. Basically, what I'm saying is I had a lot of serious topics going on, and I wanted to do something original, but I didn't want to do something heavy. And so I decided to share with you guys a little thing that I found that makes me really happy and that I enjoy, and that brings me joy. And that is particularly just watching generally reaction videos, music videos. That's how it started. But in this case, it's a subgenre of reaction videos. It's reacting in this case to YouTube videos, but we're going to actually look at the artist, not the reactions. So I'm kind of going off my tangent here. But anyway, watching some of the talent that's emerging on YouTube in the rap scene, and then watching other people react to the drama. So we're going to be doing a video where I'm going to explain my freshman level understanding of what's going on here, because I really got pulled into the scene right around the time actually of Eminem dropping Kamikaze, because channels started reacting to that and that blew up. And then there was the diss battle, or the rap battle, or the diss track battle, I guess, between Eminem and MGK. And that was amazing to watch. And then the reactions to that. So two things. Why reaction videos? I like to watch them. One, because once I know the song and I get to know where, I'll watch the song first, like if it was Kill Shot or if it was Rap Devil by MGK. And you know where all the good, maybe the hardest hitting bars are, the hardest hitting lines in a rap song. But watching the reaction videos, you can see people's reaction and you know they're coming. So I find that interesting to watch their psychology as they interact with the art when I know it's coming. It's knowing the spoilers and then watching the movie with someone else to see how they react more than watching the movie. And through that, I started following a lot of basically channels that do rap reactions. And No Life Shack is one that I really like a lot, and he talks about barology. And if I'm sorry to be such an incredible white person, but I'm going to be a white person here, what astounded me about rap videos, and then we're going to get onto some music, is that my realization that I've been listening to them wrong. And that I learned from watching other people break down songs, because, when I listen to most top 40 song, you just listen to it all the way through and you kind of groove on it and you just let it happen. You can't do that with hip hop. You can't do that with rap, because there's so much content in the lyrics that if you don't pause and listen, you're going to miss something. So what was most astounding, I mean, it's really good setup on YouTube for the stopping and reacting to songs, actually, because you have to do that for fair use. But there's so much content packed into the lyrics, and this is what's been the real joy for me. So let's now get on with what I'm going to talk to you about, this sort of emerging UK-US rivalry. Right now it's kind of British versus Americans, but it could be, Americans versus Americans, we'll see. In the YouTube rap scene, you have people who are YouTubers who also do rap and upload their videos on their channel, but they're also a YouTube channel, right? That's sort of like a loose definition of a YouTube rapper, someone who works within both mediums comfortably. Just having a YouTube channel where you put your videos on, if you don't interact with your audience, if you don't make other content besides just uploading it, I don't think you're really a YouTube rapper. I think being part of the YouTube scene means using YouTube as other than promotion. So there was a discussion between the probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, YouTube rappers, KSI. Now, KSI originally started off in the gaming community doing FIFA and then transitioned into doing rap music. Did that, he's still doing that, but then last year they got diverted into an actual boxing match. He and Logan Paul had a boxing match, and it was a draw, apparently. So anyway, he's back and was talking on a podcast that we'll look at, and he called out YouTube rappers, and that's what started this beef off. So we're going to look at what KSI had to say, and then we're going to look at 3 different responses to KSI, and each of the responses are very unique and take a different approach. And I want to break down the variety in the responses because I think that too speaks to the creativity of the genre. So as I said, I am very much a student in the house of hip hop here on freshman class introductory year. So I don't mean to have any mastery here. I'm mostly absorbing things from the community and then using that to contextualize things for this video. But if you want to see people with far more expertise do this, you can just do reactions to KSI, and there's tons of them out there just to dig in and have fun. There's a lot of really good ones. But we're going to look first at the video where KSI, who's a British rapper, was calling out other rappers who, well, basically saying other people on YouTube can't really rap. Now, rap is, this might be really self-explanatory, but it's a very competitive community. Rap battling is something that you do to show off your skills, and it's kind of like the Coliseum, but instead of swords and shields, you bring your pen and paper. You know, you bring your wit, and you stand up there and you show everybody what you've got in the moment. A performance. So we're going to look at what KSI had to say about, well, in particular, he goes after Quadeca, but in another part of it too, he also talks about Dax. So we're going to listen to a little bit of what started this beef from the British side, because he's firing shots, and then actually it's North America, because I think Dax is Canadian, but he might live in LA. It looks like he lives in the States. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But so North America versus UK so far. We'll see how this goes. So let's see what kicked this all off. KSI calling some people out.
Like, please, man.
But the amount of people out there that we haven't even heard of that are better. Like we don't
know.
Oh, there's a lot of artists out there.
Purely out of we know.
Yeah.
And I don't know that many. It's literally Quadeca, Bilu, everyone we've mentioned. I feel like Quadeca thinks he's sicker than he actually is. I think he's really good at making video raps. Like, he's really
sick videos. He's really good
videos.
videos.
He's awkward when it comes to videos, man.
No, but
I was talking about music videos.
Like when he does the top,
he's good at making
10 styles of rap and stuff like that.
They're like video songs, like he's doing top 10 styles of rap. He did the one where it's like 30,000 words. That's cool, right?
Top 10 words.
He's really good at that. But I think but when he starts making original music, it's like stop.
Right.
Stay in your lane, bro.
I think he's.
All right, so that was what started the beef. You know, it's clear to me now watching the rap community that it is absolutely fine to, you know, you can make veiled references to people, but when you start naming names, you should expect a reaction. Or if you name names and you don't get a reaction, that kind of goes on the person, maybe who's not reacting. As I said, KSI, although I don't have that clip, called out Dax as well, another YouTube rapper. We're actually going to start with one of his videos saying that he was like a poor man's version of derivative rappers. Now, KSI put this out here. He's not actually replied to any of the diss tracks yet that I've seen. He put out the sample of music he's going to be using. So if you're going to get involved with this, you get caught up in the drama, you can be on the lookout for the KSI reaction. I think he's going to react to Dax and Quadeca in the first round. But yes. So let's go ahead and look at what this then caused. What sort of reaction did this create? Well, we're going to look at 3 different artists and their approaches to dealing with having their names dropped in this way. The first one is going to be Dax. I think Dax was, he might have been the first person chronologically to release his music anyway. So we're going to do it kind of in chronological order. I will say that we're going to break down the Quadeca video a bit more because it is a more traditional diss track. We'll see that Dax, he's doing showmanship. He's showing off how good he is, and he's very good. And there's also been a lot of reactions to the Quadeca song, more so than the Screwface Jean reaction that we're going to look at in the third part of this. And so I'm going to spend a bit more time on the Quadeca video because I can break that down more. I understand more of the references, and I want to kind of pass that along, and also some observations about how he constructed the song and point out some things about his flow. Right. So as I said, first one is going to be Dax. And let me switch my screen over here before we start jamming out. All right. Now, I'm not going to play it all the way through. I'm going to stop it and pause and talk about it a little bit because fair use, even though these guys, I don't think, come after people with copyright infringement, I still want to show them the respect of doing commentary as opposed to just playing their content on my channel and monetizing it. All right. So let me just widen this out a little bit so you can see the full screen. This one should be a bit louder than the last one. And so here we go. Yep. Oh, right. Before we start, sorry. For those who don't have a framework at all for this, I'm just assuming zero knowledge. The discourse around a rap battle is competitive. It's about victory and winning. And rappers will often compare their words and their bars to bullets, doing damage. And basically, like, my words are so damaging, I can kill you with just the things coming out of my mouth and what I can think up in the moment, right? And the other thing that we should be aware of is that often, or it is the case that in a rap battle, as in with other cases of war, basically anything is fair game. So it can be a very aggressive form of musicality, but I would caution against taking metaphors literally in this, right? So we're gonna go ahead and then look at Dax's video. Dax, as I said, his style of response was not to go after KSI and disrespect him back. Instead, what he did to prove KSI wrong was he's going to show his ability, his flourish, the way that he can freestyle. In this case, he's done a freestyle over the song Kill Shot by Eminem. And he'll make a couple references to KSI. But as you can see, when we look at the other diss tracks, this isn't a traditional diss track. This is basically a showcase piece that he's mentioned KSI in along the way. So here we go.
Get down, nigga. I said get down. What you gotta say now? My name is Dax. I just committed murder. Why everybody asking me if I'm a rapper? I'm an artist. I just rap for fun, but still do it the hardest. How I started was a baby giving birth to by the Carters. Tupac, Biggie, Nas, for King, my grandfather. Been rapping for 2 years and probably been the farthest. Had to spark and made a name by manipulating the market. How I started, put it in driving, I never parked it. This is a message to the dealer in the party. This a motherfucking KSI came in my scope with the fucking industry. Half of these niggas rapping is trash and it's fucking killing me.
All right, so as you can see, his theme is going to be about how great he is and also how bad the rap scene is. His flow here is quite fast, and smooth with the vowel sounds, and he's using the space inside of the song that Eminem originally used with much more dense content. If you compare this to the original Kill Shot, Eminem leaves a lot of space in his bars because he's trying to emphasize particular words that he's communicating. But here Dax is just showing how quickly and fluidly he can flow on top of this beat, and it's really good. So continuing on.
I made a name for myself by doing it differently. I started writing poetry, then I had an epiphany initially. Started meshing words into a symphony and calculating patterns and delivering them brilliantly.
So if you look at that, you can see that within that last bar, and of course you might have to go back and listen to this a couple times, but he's talking about his experience coming into the rap scene, and that he started off with poetry, and then he had an epiphany, and he started to use music and lyrics together to build up his art. And that's what's really interesting about the ones I'm going to show you, here. It's these diss tracks have a lot of content in them because they have a lot of ideas to communicate, and they're also a showcase for artists to show off all of their skills. So you'll see a lot of different flow patterns oftentimes. I mean, Rap Devil really didn't. He kind of used the same rhythm all the way through. But so you're going to see a lot of things change up here, which if you don't know to look for, every time, he sort of changes the pace at which he speaks, he's changing up his flow. So you can see how dexterous he is in his flow by how many times he changes it up across the song, or maybe sometimes even within a series of bars. Okay, back to it.
Go into your mind so I can paint a vivid imagery and save you from the tragedy you've been listening to literally. Nah, this is not a game, this is not a test. What's the point of rapping if I ain't trying to be the fucking best? Drop their songs faster than the version when a pussy wet. Just swim into the mainstream with the sharks so I can come up next. The bad box on me in the train, me and Drake from Canada. Fuck you think that hard, man? In my opinion, I think that means that I'm the next best thing to eat Dane beats. Now I'm motherfucking Thompson.
Okay, so woo. Can I just say, woo, that was hot. Right. So in there, he actually said he is also from Canada. So just to point that out. And the whispering thing, again, a nice change up, but one. Woo. Okay, so back at it.
Fuck niggas don't want a problem when I pop shit. Gas niggas like I'm entertainment, this is auspice. All drip, my bars coming out of faucet. The crazy thing about this rap is about the recognition. Underrated, an understatement, and I'm the definition. Contemplated if I should kill him, I had a premonition. Ronald Reagan, the whole game. Man, cause of demolition. Niggas finna nut like Dante. Ooh. Grandma still in Cali like LeBron James. Ooh. Know she wanna fuck and her friend do too. KSI a bitch get mentioned. You.
All right, so on this one, it seems to me anyway, looking at older diss tracks, like the importance of the beat and the flow was less in the past, but having something that really connects with people on a musical level and gets you grooving along is really important. I think the way he did that breakdown was really good and really lyrical. He sort of accentuated both the emphasis of the song and its beat, but by also changing it up, he changed our mode and emotions toward it. So again, I think he's just doing a really great job.
Nah, but real shit, little nigga, don't you ever try to diss me or I'll come for your neck. I'll be damned if an Uncle Tom corny ass nigga making vlogs try to talk if he ain't showing respect. So let me break it down for you how I live out the rest of my whole career. I promise I won't be one of the biggest in about a year. I promise I'll be the one to convince you that they ain't fair is a concoction by the devil to make you good disappear.
All right, so in that those last bars, he's talking to KSI here about that he's vlogging, whatever else, but KSI can go do all that stuff. This guy's on a path. He's going to get a Grammy. He's going to get an Emmy, whatever else, like he's got goals and dreams. And that aspiration and those commitments are often, you hear a theme because rappers push themselves. So always wanting to be the best and pushing themselves forward and giving themselves goals. It's incredibly self-improving type of art form because if you want to be the best, that means you've got to constantly be keeping up. So back to the song.
I promise I'll win the Grammy. I promise I'll win the Oscar. I promise the rap game won't turn me into a monster. And for some people who love me to treat me like I'm a sponsor and pray for my death and money and not for a lifelong. Yeah, and that's facts. Manifested all the shit through rap. Spoke my life into existence. I was working in the trenches. Swear to God that I ain't never going back. OT 613, put it on the map. Treated me like 15. Had to get the strap. KSI wanna beat me, nigga. You can see the VP is 10K if you wanna track. So you gon' watch me on the TV, nigga. I swear to God they gon' keep this shit on repeat, nigga, like 4, 5, 6 times. Best believe me, nigga, I'm gon' die, cause the boy be a teacher, nigga. They gon' ride. Niggas start shit, they gon' die.
So you can see how he completely changed it up. He put some auto-tune on there. He's made it into more of a pop song rather than straight up rap track, and just, again, showing his versatility.
If I ain't the best, that's a lie. You can be the drip, I'm die. Now your boy be the topic. Jordan Lucas gotta hit me, we can ride shit. Tory Lanez, you a singer, just stop it. I'm a triple vet nigga on gosh. On gosh. That's right, I can do that too. This shit is easy for a nigga, like 2 times 2. 4 mil on Rap God, that was just last week. Eminem, let me hop on the beat. Stats! Kill switch. These pussy niggas gon' feel this.
So getting to the end of the video here, so just let it run a bit more.
And they know that I'm the realest.
So for that video, I think they did that one take. And also, this is advertised as a freestyle, which means that when Dax went into the studio, he did all of that in one take. He didn't edit it all together. I mean, obviously the auto-tune came afterwards in production, but he did it all in one take. That's what I'm assuming when he means by freestyle. And you do it all in one take, even if you produce it up afterwards. Yeah, so just like a lot of versatility, not a lot of disses. So in terms of rating it as a song, it's a really good song. And it's very clever. It's very it's got some good wordplay in it, some good jokes, but it's not a traditional sort of like going after your opponent for the whole song. So Showcase, from Dax, who's Canadian. All right, official. So this is I should need to change the title of the video now to North America versus UK, as KSI is firing shots from across the pond. All right, second song up, and we're gonna spend a little bit more time on this one just because I know it a bit better. As I said, I've watched a lot of reactions, so I get a lot more of the references, which I want to share with you guys. And that's going to be Quadeca. Quadeca is definitely a YouTube rapper. He's got a channel where he does music, like entertainment videos with different styles of rap, and he makes content about rap, and he also makes songs and puts them up on his channel. So he's probably best known for his content where he does like 17 different styles of rap or 15 different styles of rap. I heard he had one that's crazy, like 71 styles of rap or something. So he's got a lot of versatility, but he's also very young. So I think that it's easy to discount him as a young guy, kind of a kid who's coming up. Well, when he found out that KSI had mentioned him, he actually made a video. It's very sweet. He's really got a sort of sweet personality if you go watch his videos. And he talked about hearing the reaction, being dissed by KSI, and basically saying, look, this guy wants a diss track. Okay, that's fine. A little bit of the background. KSI is associated with, or hangs out with a guy who's called Discod, also another YouTube rapper. There was some beef between Quadeca and Discod earlier in the year, I think about 7 or 8 months ago, where Quadeca did a diss track to the Discod, and he's not made any videos since. So there's sort of that background even before the KSI beef. Other things that I should probably tell you before we watch Quadeca's video is that so I mentioned the Logan Paul fight, and the references to that are going to come up in the diss. If you're a SpongeBob SquarePants fan, you're going to really like Quadeca because he uses a lot of SpongeBob references in his songs. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, right, yes. When KSI did his FIFA stuff and his channel was starting out, he did some kind of cringy things that are still around on the internet. You'll see a picture of that in there. Now, what I want to point out about Quadeca is that, interestingly, I think he's got he seems to be very immersed in the music of now. So sometimes, like if you looked at Kill Shot by Eminem, it's a straight up just diss track. It doesn't have a chorus or a breakdown or a hook in it. He just kind of, does the bars all the way through. And there's an emergence, I think, kind of a debate if how important the beat should be on a diss track. And what is interesting is there's a song that came out earlier this year, Sicko Mode. Very innovative song. Travis, I can't remember his name. I got it on my Spotify, but I just learned about it like in this week. Sicko Mode, go check it out. It's an amazing song. A lot of beat change-ups in there, kind of in unusual places. Kind of the way they put it together was surprising to a lot of people, how the song flowed. And Quadeca had obviously heard that and was inspired by it and found a way to incorporate it. So what I think is really good about Quadeca is that when he's quite young, he is quite in tune with the music scene, so he can represent the emerging market and what young people respond to. And if you look at the reaction videos, people really did respond to his music. And he's also got great production. He looks like to be pretty middle class. He seems to live in a pretty nice neighborhood. He's got a car with his name on the license plate, so clearly he can afford really good production and really good equipment. So you have to take that into account, that he's got sort of that advantage when comparing it to other videos, and people have less money. But that all being said, I think this is a really clever song. I think the music is clever, and I'm going to share it with you guys now. We're going to look at this diss track to KSI from Quadeca. The one thing you should notice is he doesn't really go after him hard. Quadeca said in a video reacting to KSI reacting to his video that he kind of came at him. KSI came at him as an artist, saying he wasn't very good and disrespecting him in that way. And so Quadeca came back to him on that level. He sort of farms off his disses in that framework. He doesn't come after him like on a really gut level, like we'll see with Screwface Gene in the next video. All right, so here we go with Quadeca's Insecure.
She's so insecure.
So let me change actually the screen a little bit here because I am, no, not multiplayer. That's not at all what I wanted. Sorry, I want you guys to be able to make sure I can see the lyrics. Okay, that fixed it. And now we went right to the end. Okay. All right, let's try this. Sorry, I'm going to start again. And what you'll notice is that the song itself doesn't start off like a traditional rap song. You might have noticed already. It starts off more like a love song. And I think this is a very clever thing on Quadeca's part because it throws people off. It changes their expectations. And so I think putting people on their back foot was very much his intention. And from the reaction videos, he very much accomplished that. So.
She's so insecure. Nowhere to run. Nowhere for more. Nah, psych, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Yeah, turn it up fucking beat, bro.
Okay, so there we've got the change up. I'll just like put this on the screen again. Hello, guys. Yeah, so he's done a change up, and that's basically signaling here, that is very don't have expectations. He's going to do things that you're not going to be expecting. So that's I think a nice way to start off the song. All right, I'm just checking if I can share, and I can absolutely. So let's get back to the song.
KSI, what the fuck are you talking about? Come on, man. Shit about this trash, bro. None of that.
Oh, and if you're wondering what the sample is, it was actually Scru Face Reactions that pointed me in the right direction. He actually tracked it down. It's Where My Girl's At by, is it 708? So if you're wondering, if you're older like me, if you're an Xer, and you're like, where is that song from? It's like, yeah, it's Where My Girl's At, and that's where it came from. And if you're under the age of 20, you probably never heard it. So it's going deep into the vaults.
Hey, JJ, I'm so sorry you're angry. Hairline so fucked up, your barber is Take Heath. I'm 18, making main stages. You were 18 and a virgin in the basement making rape faces.
All right, so because I've seen this, I know where to do the pauses. The first diss. Your barber is Take Heath. That's a music producer in the rap scene. He's got this little tag that he puts at the starts of his music saying someone is shouting, Take Heath, F these people up. And so the reference there that his hairline being fucked up is also the phrase used by Take Heath. So Keith. So yeah, a little sort of demonstration. If you know the hip hop scene, that's an in joke you're going to get. And then as you saw back in KSI's past, he kind of became known as the guy who did the rape face because he made this video about doing rape faces, obviously pre-Me Too, and probably not that good of idea, but it's out there in the internet now, and so probably everyone forever will bring this up when dissing him because it's easy and it's obvious, and A sounds like rape face is actually a pretty easy thing to rhyme with. So let's go.
And now you really think your music is the most heat? Oh, that's so profound. You changed that so deep. Shut the fuck up. Leave the studio and record some FIFA. They torture people with your music out in North Korea.
Right. So, yep. Here he rhymed FIFA with North Korea, tying it back into his previous YouTube content. And that's the main theme of Insecure by Quadeca. KSI told Quadeca to stay in his lane, right? We heard him say that. And so what Quadeca is saying basically is, no, dude, you stay in your lane. You're the one who's, like trying to make all these rap songs, but you're not as good as you think you are. So maybe you should stick with doing FIFA because you were good at that. And that's going to be a main theme of this.
Got so big and made so many stats that your friends are terrified to let you know that you're whack. Now your homies are your yes man, egos open to max. Call Shane Dawson, I think this guy's a sociopath. Huh?
All right, very clever lines here. Couple things. One, he talks about the fact that KSI is very popular, has a lot of money, and a lot of yes men around him. And then, as you saw in the video, he's like boxing with a tree. I think that's probably a reference to KSI's fight with Logan Paul that ended in a draw. So that's, I think he's trying to kind of bring that into it because you'll see that here with references, he does make, he calls out or makes references to Jake or Logan Paul. And here he made a reference to, again, very intertextual, understands what younger people on YouTube are watching. He's making reference to the Sean Dawson series Sociopath, which featured Jake Paul. I'm just learning about, I know I'm so out of the loop, but I'm just learning about these people. So if I make any mistakes, you guys can correct me in the comments. But using the calling him a sociopath and Shane Dawson, again, if you're in the YouTube scene, these are really funny jokes, like really funny things to say, and they get a reaction from the audience, which is the point of a diss track, is to get an audience reaction to kind of show your skills and get them on your side by making them admire you. And that's what Quadeca is definitely trying to do in this song.
I saw you leave this studio with this god. You don't make your own shit, so how you gonna discard? Had to point the finger like what old folks typing, but I killed your writer once, now he a ghost writer.
Right. So, oof, yes. To say someone doesn't write their own music is to call them a fraud. For those of you old enough to remember Milli Vanilli, that was just singing and lip syncing, right? But it's even more profound with rap. Like if they lost their reputation just for being on stage and lip syncing, which is what a lot of people do. Of course, it wasn't to their own songs, but they were lip syncing their own music. Lots of artists do that. But in the hip hop scene, because of its roots coming up through African-American experience of speaking to your own life and giving voice to that and putting that as content, artistic content that didn't exist until you made it into the world, the ethic of writing your own stuff, the ethic of having a valid, basically speaking from valid experiences is very, very important. So if you are associated, if it's sort of rumored that you had a ghostwriter or you have a ghostwriter, people can still think you're a good singer or whatever, but they won't respect your content as much because they don't think it's coming from you. And as I said, the Disc God and Quadeca had a little back and forth earlier in this year, and Quadeca, did a diss to him, and Disc God never replied back and went quiet on YouTube for a while. Hence the line, "But I killed your writer once. Now he's a ghost writer." Very clever. All right.
I never thought that KSI would make me get in the booth, but all your friends fucking with me, way more heavy than you. I'm telling the truth. I'm small, I'm skinny, I'm white, I got a lisp, I'm awkward, and I'm fucking better than you. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's an unfortunate place to pause, but I'm going to have to because I don't want to make it run again. If you guys have seen 8 Mile, you'll know the Eminem trick of identifying all your own weaknesses first. And also he's going after KSI's friendships, people he's associated with other rappers called the Sidemen. And Quadeca is saying, hey, look, even people who are friends with you are messing with me and my music. So clearly I'm not as bad as you say I am in that way. So by the way, we've seen him do little disses, do little rhymes now. We've seen him change up his flow a little bit, but now you can be paying attention for some faster bars coming at you. And yes, look for the A sound to connect the words all the way through this. He seems to kind of hang his speed on the A sound to kind of help him get from word to word, which is why the flow sounds a bit more fluid. So check that out in the next bars coming right up.
Yeah, let's take it back to the past. When you made a vid, and people would actually laugh at how you react to the past instead of how bad you can rap. It's actually sad how you don't know that you were actually bad. It's actually mad. I'm actually really gonna get into the band, but I never understand why you really wanna ban me. Yes, man, acting like a fan, but he keep you in a bubble that you're living like Sandy. I just been taking the plan A. You're more a fan of the plan C. I know it must be hard. Feel like my own fan can't stand me.
All right, that was good. Like that was really good. It was really fast, and I know that's not just my opinion. Watching other people react to this video, that's the first oh right, oh he's not just some guy who's doing a really slow beat. He can actually speed rap, which is kind of exciting. So you can probably hear the A sounds and all the way through, and that really again made the flow seem very quick and very fluid. So again, really, really well done. Right.
Yeah, your music is not complex. You talk nonsense, mediocre with a god complex. You're delusional on drugs or you fuse the two. You're like the Black Marina Joyce meets Fousey too.
Oh, I mentioned too, there was a line in the speed rap where, the SpongeBob reference, sorry, I'm going to go back here, because he talks about living under a bubble like Sandy. So I think that's technically the first SpongeBob reference here. And we'll just go back a little bit more and catch the full thing. And you can, yeah.
You don't know that you are actually bad. It's actually mad. I'm actually really gonna get into the band, but I never understand why you really want to ban me. Yes, man, acting like a fan, but he keep you in a bubble that you're living like Sandy. They keep you in a bubble like you live in like Sandy. So yeah, and just do a special SpongeBob shout out there. I just been singing the plan A. You're more a fan of the plan B. I know it must be hard. You're like my own fan can't stand me. Yeah, your music is not complex. You talk nonsense, mediocre with a god complex. You're delusional on drugs or you fuse the two. You're like the Black Marina Joyce meets Fousey too. These are again YouTube references. I don't really get them because I wasn't around for the Marina Joyce. People thinking that she would have been kidnapped by ISIS is what I hear, which seems crazy, but
And then FouseyTube, I know just from glancing, they got sort of a weird reputation. So again, if you are in the YouTube scene, you follow these kinds of things, you put these stuff together. The people who do know these jokes, when they get them, there is like physical, like, oh my gosh, can't believe it kind of reactions. Again, speaking to both knowing how to rhyme, but also knowing how to work with references that the audience will get to connect with them. Really well done.
How you gonna call me awkward? You a big nerd. Make you turn blue in the face just like you Squidward.
There you go, another SpongeBob reference for you.
Okay. But to be honest, bro, I wish that I was still a fan. Logan Paul, come and film this. I think I just killed a man.
Ooh, right. Yeah. So this one gets a lot of reaction if you watch other people's stuff because of it's calling out Logan Paul again. It's bringing up a really controversial thing that happened in his career when he filmed somebody who committed suicide, and YouTube freaked out, and it kind of was a kickoff for the adpocalypse and all this sort of stuff. So, Quadeca bringing this back, not to take like a direct hit at Logan Paul, but to say, oh yeah, bring him in, come and film this because I just killed a man. Brings those idea of dissing somebody, you've just owned them so bad that they can't come back, and that YouTube drama. Again, if you watch reactions from people who hear this line and they understand it, they're like, oh man. And yeah, so again, really good and clever wordplay. Very sort of like, it reminds me of the Eminem style of kind of bringing people in very controversially, but not to diss them, but to reference something that makes sense in the diss for the person. So anyway, we're going to see now that Quadeca is actually going to really change the music up, and he's going to do something that basically influenced by Sicko Mode. This isn't original for him, but he was aware of Sicko Mode and liked it enough to think about how to incorporate something similar into his music, which I think again just shows how in tune his ear is to what people are listening to.
I don't care about no motherfucking whip. I don't care about no whip. For the diamonds on your wrist. For the diamonds on your wrist. There's more I like than this, yeah. I got you insecure. Turn your whole life into a blur. Had to let you right back in my world.
So that was his hook. And you'll notice that the song reminds you, if you go back and listen to it again, to the opening about Insecure and sort of the themes and stuff there. So actually that middle breakdown bit, or the second breakdown bit here, he kind of set us up for it right at the beginning in the song. And now he's tying that idea of insecurity back together, which again, I have to just admire in terms of the planning. It shows to me that, not only did he have a plan for the video, but he thought about exactly how to set it up in order to make connections to the audience, but not in an obvious way. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but to me, these things don't tend to happen by accident. And so again, I think it just wanted to tip my cap on that clever construction. Okay, what we're about to hear now is what Quadeca does. I'll pause this for a second so you can see me. Hello. What he does now is for people who don't know what's going on, I think this was a good thing for him to do. Most people won't have known of Quadeca and will be reacting to him because they saw KSI in the name. So just as he used the opportunity, the reaction video opportunity, to put people off their game, like in the beginning where he did it slow and then he changed it up and made it a different experience because he knew he was going to have new people watching. Here, because people oftentimes watch reaction videos and they don't know the whole backstory, they don't know the whole beef, he puts in the beef in the song itself. So this does two things. One, it gives him a break in the music, where it gives him an opportunity to do something else on the other side, as we'll see. And also for people who didn't know what was going on, and for posterity, he can demonstrate that KSI came at him first. KSI fired shots, from across the pond at him by name, calling him out many times, telling him to stay in his lane. So I think it was a good idea. And if people don't talk, like in reaction videos, people a lot of times talk over this bit. They just sort of start to shut down. They don't hear it. But I want you to listen to it because I'm going to set you up for this. Again, so clever. In the clip we're about to hear, he has KSI talking about him. And then the last thing that KSI says in the clip is, I'm going to blow him out of the fucking water. All right, that's the ending clip. And then, as you'll see, he's going to change up the beat, again, sicko mode. And the first thing he mentioned is water, right? So he uses that concept of, or that phrase from KSI to connect it to the first bars of the second part of his song. So he's using KSI to actually bridge the diss, you know, like to start in, come into the diss, and then give Quadeca the motif, as it were, he was going to start to come out from. And damn, that's clever. So having watched that, I'll set you, like I said, I set you up for that now. I'll just let that part run so you'll hear what KSI has to say, and then you can hear the beat change up because it's awesome. So get ready for that. This is going to be fun. All right, here we go.
Say if Quadeca's watching this right now, he will 100% disagree with you. He think he is better than you because of what you put out.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put stuff out, and then I'm gonna blow him out the fucking water.
Yeah, you ride away, can't get out of the water. Can't buy a good song for $1. I ain't never been to try this song.
Oh, did you see that? Did you feel that? Did you feel that change up? It's like, and the water. We're gonna blow him out of the water. Can't get out. You're so smart. I just like little things like that, because as an academic, we sometimes in our articles will like do those kinds of things, and if somebody notices it, I know really appreciate it. But you got to really pay attention and be in, you know, kind of a geek to do that. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and let's do that one more time, just because that's a really good beat. So let's start that out. I want to hit that.
Because of what you put out.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put stuff out, and then I'm gonna blow him out the fucking water.
Yeah, you ride away, can't get out of the water. Can't buy a good song for $1. I ain't never been to try this follow.
All right, I'll put that video back on. I know you guys don't want to watch me dance, but it's such a good beat. All right, you can't help it. You can't help it. Unconsciously, your body just wants to groove out to it. All right, back to lyrical proficiency again. He's about to do, he's changed up the beat. He's going to change up his flow several times. And you're going to see, yeah, he's going to have, the second part is more impressive than the first. So if you're like, oh, Quadeca, yeah, that first bit was good. You know, you had some good lines, he had some corny lines, and I kind of like the beat. This is the second part. This is where he like takes it up a step, takes it up a notch, takes it up a level, and uses, like, again, that really good beat, and uses that beat to showcase what he can do.
You like how much wood could with your truck? Just shut the fuck up, trying to stop us. Saying words, but it don't feel hollow. Put that on mic and pick up the Elgato. I used to watch this guy back in grade 5.
Quick reference, and I know I'm stopping it. You guys can go watch the video if you want to jam out to it, because it's an awesome song to jam out to. But I had to have this. I had to learn this. An Elgato is a piece of equipment that you use to convert, like, from your FIFA machine to your computer. So he's basically making, again, the claim that KSI needs to go back to playing FIFA instead of putting his time on rap, and he just found a way to use that equipment in the rhyme. You know, for those people who know what an Elgato is, or hear people talk about an Elgato because they're in that world, again, that's a very clever use of the phrase together. So.
The side man, they ain't even on your side. The side man, what's the reason they would lie?
And sorry, I'm just going to interrupt again, but you'll notice here that he's this line reminded me a lot of Eminem's "Get this audio out of my audio, adios," because in that line, Eminem says "Audi, get this audio out of my audio, adios," and uses those sounds repeatedly. You'll notice here when he talks about sideman and decide man. Let's just go back and kind of hear that those sort of similar homophones. I think is the right word.
Never been to this follow. You like how much wood could with your truck? Just shut the fuck up, trying to stop us. Saying words, but it don't feel hollow. Put that on mic and pick up the Elgato. I used to watch this guy back in grade 5. The side man, they ain't even on your side. The side man, what's the reason they would lie? Quadeca on the playlist more than KSI.
And that line, Quadeca more on their playlist more than KSI, I think that's a reference to Randolph, who was one of the other guys. Actually, he didn't really get a chance to talk, but this is Randolph. He's also a YouTube rapper, UK YouTube rapper. This is Mini Minister. I think I'm saying it right. It's all M's and I's and N's, and so I always worry I'm going to leave something out. But anyway, they were on this podcast together, and one of the things that Randolph said is that he's got Quadeca on his playlist. So I think that's sort of a mention of it. And also I want to mention in this, KSI referenced his ability on his song Transform. that will come up. And in one of the songs, Crypt, if you go to the channel Crypt, who's a YouTuber who also raps as well. He's a YouTube rapper. He's American, but he did a breakdown of KSI's song, and in there's a line about dodging shit like a matador, and I noticed that Quadeca also later on has a line like that. Now I don't know if that's just a line he came up with or if he watched the Crypt video and saw that line and decided to make a play on it. But anyway, that's some of the references behind these bars. And oh, we're gonna go fast again. I think again it's hung with the A sound to make the flow smoother, and this is a more impressive run than in the first part. So enjoy, get ready.
JJ shoot a shots like an AK, but he made waves being lonely with a brave face. Now we change face, thinking that he get a safe face. Hit him from across the fucking pause, no lay. This my payday, you and they say JJ, bro, you change for the great days and on in a good way, in a bad way. How you gonna talk that way when you trash mates?
Whew. That was good. Okay, that I really like. You just listen to him go, and you hear all the sounds. And the other thing that's really great about that is he's not just saying words for the sake of it. What he's saying inside those bars is directly related to, you know, the content of the diss. And so, oh, did I mention that he did this in 3 days? Did I mention that I think this came out like on a Tuesday or something? He put up a video saying he was going to put his video up by Friday, which means he wrote music for 2 pieces, produced it, filmed it, edited it, and then put it up on YouTube within 3 days after having learned of being dissed. So there's just so many reasons for me to be impressed the more I listen to this. But anyway, we're almost to the end of the song, and let's get back to it and finish it up, because then we've got a proper diss track to look at. Okay.
Yeah, I just checked out what your gram was on. Yeah, not a photo without a bandana on.
All right, so what is this? Because I wasn't quite sure the sentence construction. I checked out what your gram was on. I didn't know how to interpret that the first time, but what he's referring to here is KSI's Instagram account. What he's asserting here is that on KSI's Instagram account, he is never featured without one of these headbands. And actually, what was really funny was KSI himself did a reaction video to Quadeca's diss track, and he said, "Is that true?" And he showed himself getting his phone out. KSI is like scrolling through his Instagram. He's like, oh shit, that's actually like one, I've got a hat on, but okay, I get it. So yeah, and the hairline thing is also something that he's had been gone after in the past. So now what Quadeca is doing is setting up this, you know, sort of like them bandana hairline setup for another hairline punchline. So here we go.
Yeah, keep that hidden. You so scared. Why? What you hiding more? Is it your girlfriend or your hairline?
Right, so KSI is known for never having pictures with his girlfriend or girlfriends because he wants to keep their lives private. And so Quadeca is just saying, hey, what are you hiding more? Is it your girlfriend or your hairline with all these bandanas? Again, little dig, you know, little ego bump there. And we're getting close to the end of the song. So at this point, this is Quadeca's last chance to show off his skills. He wants to go out on a bang, you know, banger in a rap sense. And so I'm going to let the last bit of this pretty much kind of play through. I plan to, so that it feels more fluid and you can see the construction of his closing. Here we go.
Look, bro, I'm getting confused. The rim isn't really getting no views. When you said I'm done with music, we all wish that you were telling the truth. You had to go transform that so deep and you're so sick. KSI, you're an asshole and you transformed into a bigger prick. Yeah, no, you can't get on my calendar.
Oh, sorry, we're not that close to the end yet. All right, so I thought we were closer to the end. There was that diss. Now, the one that he's about to do here, you'll have to remember your American history to get this joke. So I'm just going to set it up for you guys a little bit. If you recall, it was British soldiers who fired into a crowd in Boston at a protest, and the Boston Massacre actually ended up provoking, you know, a much bigger reaction than the initial incident, right? It wasn't proportional. It sort of fed into the Revolutionary War. So Quadeca here is going to say, you can't get on my caliber here in terms of like the level, but then also you'll see he's setting up an ammunitions connection as well. So let's just go a little bit back so you can get the full impact.
Yeah, wanna shoot, they shot, bust and massacre. No, I'm too spectacular, I just can't find your talents.
I've been told that this dance here might be another SpongeBob reference. There's a character apparently who does a silly dance, and he's doing the silly dance when he's saying the line, "I just can't find your talent, sir." So yes, he's dancing ironically, I think, in this part with possibly a SpongeBob reference. So that's my interpretation from what I've learned from other people. It's not original to me.
I think that ended back in 2012, just like that calendar. Done double shit like a matador. Just tell me the fuck are you rapping for? Bitch, I do not gotta go boxing and knock you and pop your whole head going back and forth. I gotta drive you a passenger. They ask could I hop on your track or verse? I think I would rather get stabbed by a dagger and die while I'm wearing some Maverick merch.
All right, so before we get to the closing, because that's the audio of a further audio of KSI dissing him. Yeah, that last bit, last bit of flow. Sorry, I can put this. You don't need to look at a blank screen. That can't be very interesting to listen to, or to look at, I should say. Yeah, the last bit, he's got some more disses in there. He does the dodge the bullshit like a matador line, which again, I'm not sure is a reference back to the KSI song that Crypt featured. And he also talked about you were an asshole and you transformed into a bigger prick, because KSI said that transform was an example of what a good rap artist he's become. So KSI, used that word deliberately in order to connect it back to KSI's content. I really had a lot of fun watching this video and watching other people's reactions to this video. And it's because when you watch the reactions, people go through this pattern, and to be honest, I've seen it so many times now. Watching people go through this, who is this guy? Quadeca, what is his name? And then by the end of the song, they're just like, oh, I love this guy. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? In fact, I've got a video I'm doing as therapy, like not therapy, but relaxation, where I'm going to show the 5 stages or 6 stages or however many it's going to end up being of going from who to I mess with Quadeca in like one video, because a lot of people go through the same journey. And as a social scientist, I'm interested in that. Okay, so that's Quadeca. Really clever video. I very much enjoyed that. And then we're going to look at a proper diss track now. So the last person we're going to look at is Scru Scru was not mentioned in the podcast per se like Quadeca was or like Dax was. However, from Screwface point of view, if KSI is going to go out there and say, I am the best rapper on YouTube, I'm going to put myself at #1, I'm the best rapper, then he kind of opens up the door for anybody who wants to challenge him and say, no, I think that's wrong. Let me show you why I think I'm the best rapper. This is got sort of like the flourishes and showcasing. Unlike Dax's song, Screwface is going to also incorporate kind of a hook and and not to say that Dax didn't. He had his auto-tune on there as well, but he's going to, make the song closer to I don't want to say closer to Quadeca, because, he's just doing it in his own way. But it's a far more hard-hitting diss track. And in this one, I've got the subtitles on. Don't feel bad about watching it with the subtitles. As a middle-aged white woman, it's more important to drop my pride and try to figure out what's going to be said accurately and ask questions and look things up. So I'm going to try to leave on the subtitles for this one, because Quadeca's was what was put on there automatically. Actually, they might be. Never mind. Let's get going with the song. So Screwface Gene, he's got a channel here on YouTube. You should definitely check him out. And here is. Oh, he's going to start out kind of clowning. So as you can see, like Quadeca's was more lighthearted. Even his tone didn't seem to take it personally or take it seriously. He was, playing around. He was being playful, I should say. This song is not like that. So here we go.
I'm out here in Britain in the snow. The best rapper alive right here. Y'all haters ain't always talking shit, but I'm the best out here in Britain. No one can touch me. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on YouTube. Yeah. Oh,
So the person coming up behind him is Screwface Gene. So.
Yeah. See, my thing about it is all y'all trash.
The hit Brainiac.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, you fucking culture vultures. If you really think you beast, then I'm the poacher.
All right, so culture vulture are people who are coming in and trying to like make money off of Black culture. Again, this is so just as a little reference there, and also with the imagery of violence, this is a symbolic representation of how Screwface is going to be owning KSI in this song. So here we go. He's got some, by the way, culture vulture. Yeah, he does have some pretty pointed critiques coming at him from a different perspective than Quadeca as a little white kid, and this is an adult Black man. He's knows his art. He's confident in himself, and he's got some different things to say to KSI. So let's watch.
I ain't here to fucking prank a roast or toast the alcohol to bang your life is over. They like, screw, why you mad, dog? Cause rappers all I ever had, dog. And niggas got it looking bad, dog. A bulldog bark loud, bad, dog. Let's discuss it over to your crumpets. You say you hate, but I ain't saying nothing. You weak as fucking Logan, beat you up.
So you can say, tea and crumpets. He's referencing the Logan fight again, saying you didn't win. A lot of people thought that it being called a draw was sort of rigged. So he's coming up after that as well. More British references. So just, yeah.
Just hit me dumping if I see the British coming. This bloke is dead, that's a fact, bitch. And his code is red when I stab it. And the day you beat me is the day that we see you chilling with mostly Black kids.
That's oof. All right. So it is the case. I mean, I noticed this too, but I didn't really like. I noticed it, but I didn't really think about it. KSI's friends are mostly white, and that's again. There's not a problem with that, but this opens up a point of dissing for Screwface Gene, and he takes it. He definitely takes it. So let's just go back a little bit here. Oh, and yes, your coat is red, and when I stab it, so red coats, blood is red. So when he sort of like lyrically stabs him, it explains why his coat is red. So very clever.
Chilling with mostly Black kids. You a parody rapper, a fucking joke. But you learned how to fight like a month ago. Fucking diss, I'ma dig in your fucking soul. This in the fucking choke, bitch, let's fucking go. KSI like, he don't got the bands I got. But when he rap, all I hear is man's not hot. He like 911, please make the bombing stop. But I'll put a bullet in the contact cop. Most your friends be white and that shit's fine. But it really comes off like you hate your own skin kind. And you soft, listen bars, only when you have bars if you got big time like 6'9".
I'm gonna just say, like, KSI is never rapped like this. This is amazing flow. He's using sort of like a nice kind of staccato with a beat, working with the music that's already there, creating lyrics on top of it that you move with it. Like his lyrics help you with the beat. So I've seen some of KSI's things. Some of it was awful. Some of it was better. None of it was on this level. So I'm really excited, KSI, to see his reaction, because again, but I'll get back to Screwface Gene in just a second. But this idea that these guys put out their showcase, and now everyone turns to KSI and thinks, all right, or asks, what can you bring something at this level? And that's what I really love about the rap battle scene, is that it does encourage artists to get better and push themselves from social pressure. They elect to be in this, and they can back down too and just take the L. But it is fantastic in that way for music, and you can see that rap is obviously so much more creative and innovative and interesting and dynamic than any other form of music that's popular right now that I can see. Anyway.
See, my heart is an ice ball, and twice balls, 5 shots turn right from the rice ball. But he don't even right, dog. I'm the right dog to kill this gun who we right for. Pull up on niggas and then they feel shitty again. I only did this cause I'm feeling illy again. It came from my culture, so fuck it, I'm coming for playing. If you ask me, all you niggas is shitty again.
So that's his hook. That's his, his music again. So you get the auto tune on there. You get a sort of break between bars, and you get something else you can kind of groove on and also sing along to the next time you hear it and listen to it. So he's going to go on to his next set, next 16.
Going to your brother than kid orders, nail his fingers like Rich Porter, throw the rest of them in water. There's no evidence to the slaughter. Wasn't me, your honor. I got side bitches cause I'm fucking clean. You got side men? What the fuck that mean? You the fucking leader of the sweetest
So side bitches is women who have relationships with on the side, and the side men. So he's kind of making comparisons between playing on the side men, which is KSI's friends or crew or people he runs with, and the side bitches. So again, using the comparison. And yeah, I just like, okay, yeah, side bitches, it's a phrase. We can talk about misogyny and rap music another time, but today I'm just going to focus on the diss tracks back and forth and what's great about them. And yeah, how I really dig them.
You give a whole new meaning to God bless the queen. Honestly, this is as nice as it gets. You see this music, bitch, I fight for this shit. Cause I see people lose their life for this shit. Now the rifle equipped, I'ma snipe you with shit. Like the fire like a dragon on the damn Komodo. You get shot like a random photo, and this man's a hodo. But my fans want damage, bro. But see more competition battling with animals.
You hear all the O sounds in there that he used to like connect all those phrases. That's like that's really nice. So.
Fousey come, but fuck Fousey too. Chopper got a long nose like Fousey too. You know Scru be rude, I wouldn't trust your crew. Just a bunch of fake dogs like Scooby-Doo. Quadeca diss you and they move with you. You think if you wasn't poppin', they be choosing you? Shit is sad but true, look what they do for views. No, I'm about to spring nigga like Pewdie do, nigga.
Okay, so shots out at PewDiePie. Yeah, I mean, and a completely valid critique as well. I mean, in terms of using that as a reference, one, it connects it to the YouTube audience. It also brings up an embarrassing part of a YouTuber's past and puts it in the song to make it relevant. So, yeah, again, really clever writing, wordplay, and construction.
This guy, you can suck my dick, God, cause the weird ass shit doesn't hit hard. And the rice gun kid is a big fraud. Stop rapping, y'all, stick to doing shit blogs. And this guy, you can suck my dick, God, cause the weird ass shit doesn't hit hard. And the rice gun kid is a big fraud. Stop rapping, y'all, stick to doing shit blogs. Pull up on niggas and then they feel shitty again. I only did this cause I'm feeling illy again. They came from my culture, so fuck it, I'm coming for this. If you ask me, all you niggas is shitty again. But the fire like a dragon on the damn Komodo. You get shot like a random photo, and this man's a hodo. But my fans want damage, bro. But see more competition battling with Mojo.
All right, there we go. Go check out his channel on YouTube. 3 really different songs, different aims, different formats. I mean, they all work with the same thing, a beat and words, but how they put them together, what kind of ethos they bring to them, where they put their emphasis in terms of, where they want to do their lyricism. I just think, again, it's watching creativity in action, and that's, to me, a lot of fun, and it's what draws me in to this kind of musical art form, and also why I wanted to share it, because I don't think my audience are the kind of people who would necessarily follow YouTube rapper drama, but there's a lot of talent there and a lot of interesting things going on. It also, to be honest, the whole idea of the rap diss track season drama made me feel a lot better about the kinds of we have drama in our community too, but it's not exclusively our thing, like there's other forms of drama, and it's kind of nice to visit other people's dramas, in YouTube, as opposed to being caught up in your own. That being said, the KSI drama. All right, so this was like a week, 10 days ago now, I guess, because Quadeca's video dropped on the Friday, and I don't know if you guys should go check that video. I think it's probably close to 7 million views now. I mean, he used the opportunity to go back at KSI and make not only a diss track, but a really catchy tune as well. He did a really good job of taking advantage of it. And it's got like 7 million views. He's gone from 600,000 subscribers, like 10 days to go to almost 1 million. So, drama drives clicks. I don't expect this will kind of die down anytime soon, but the other parts of this, if you're interested in following more of this drama, this is just Act 1, and that happened like 10 days ago. And in YouTube time, that's nothing. So a little more update. Randolph, as I mentioned, was also on the podcast. He threw some shade the way of Crypt, who's an American YouTuber as well. And you can go, and this is a sort of UK, North American spat going back and forth right now. So Crypt did a response to Randolph, and then Randolph was doing a response to actually somebody in the UK, and kind of included a Crypt reference in his song. But I don't think that's sorted out yet, because honestly, Randolph. Okay, so Crypt is a YouTube rapper. He's here. He's American. He's a white guy. He raps really, 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 really fast. He articulates really well. He's into lyricism, so he puts a lot of thought into his lyrics. He's definitely the kind of artist that when you hear it, you should go and look at his lines and think, why did he do this? Because Crypt puts things in his music for a reason. He did a warning shot to Randolph that was very clever, and it was a full song. And Randolph ended up picking up some beef with KSI brothers Deji. That's gotten all kinds of releasing personal information, looking at that's gone crazy. So if you want like the Jerry Springer stuff of the diss tracks, go look at the internecine fighting going on between inside the British crew right now. But Randolph did a response to Crypt in his response to Deji, who is KSI's brother, in the last couple of days, and he's put a couple bars in that were nice. I mean, I was impressed with the Randolph response to Crypt, or to Deji / Crypt, on the first watching, because he does some nice flow at the end. But when I went back and actually really looked at the lyrics, it was kind of hollow. It was just like, I'm so great and I do all this stuff and you can rap fast, but I can do more than rap fast. But he doesn't really show when he can do more than rap fast, because in that part he's just rapping fast. Whereas if you go back and you look at what Crypt did, there's a lot more thought put into it. And of course I'm biased because I like that kind of thing. So I kind of hope they keep going on with that, because I don't think Crypt I don't want Randolph to have the last word on that. I want to see these guys go back and forth. I want to see more battling. And yeah, so we're going to see KSI's got a diss track that he's supposed to be dropping. I mean, it's been a while now. In comparison, he's also got some other drama going on in his life with his brother, so I understand why he isn't focused entirely on putting out a response to Quadeca and Dax, but that's coming up next. So yeah, if you want to get sucked into that drama, just do KSI reaction or do Dax reaction or do Quadeca. Go watch the original videos and then watch some of the reaction videos. There's like a range of reaction videos from people who clearly know what they're doing and have something to say when they break down to bars, to just 13-year-old kids who are reacting on their phones. So you gotta filter. I have a visible hair, facial hair rule, which is, it's hard to judge somebody's age on YouTube. And I have this balance of, there are kids, I'm sure, who are 16 who know way more about this than I do. So I have to be open to the idea that someone who is in the scene can teach me things. But on the other hand, I feel kind of weird if they have like no facial hair whatsoever. So because it's almost exclusively men, I mean, I think I found videos from 3 women so far in this kind of, well, maybe 4 or 5 out of like almost 100 men. If they have facial hair, visible facial hair, and then I'll be, okay, you seem old enough. I'm going to listen to, you've listened to enough music at this point. Anyway, it's a nice mental break from Trump and impeachment and him being the unindicted co-conspirator and putting in an acting attorney general illegally, and, you know, the Senate not protecting Mueller and all that kind of stress. To just take an hour or two and watch some reaction videos. It's been a mental vacation, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I've been delving into this. I've been falling in love with all of this, sort of not the drama so much per se, but as I said, I admire the spirit of competition. I admire the striving for perfection and driving yourself as an artist forward, that the rap battle scene seems to do, or the diss track scene seems to do. So that was why I wanted to put this out. Also, this is a great crossover with the YouTube premiere film that's been made available this week, Bodied, which was produced by Eminem. I've given that film, sorry, I'm gonna have to cough again. I'm gonna get some of my cold coffee out of my Hamilton mug. Give me a second. All right, see if that helps. Yeah, Bodied has come out, and Michael Rollins was talking to me the other day, and he wants to have a hangout. We've set it up for Monday. That should be scheduled on the channel. And I recommended he watch Bodied, because when he comes on the happy hour with me and Kevin, and I love having Michael on the happy hour, but when he and I want to geek out about rap music, and Michael can tell me all about things that I don't know about, because I'm like a middle-aged white woman, and yeah, I grew up on, with NWA and Public Enemy on the radio and in my cassette tapes. I mean, I've been in the scene. I mean, I've been aware of it and dancing to it, but I've not really been in it and trying to understand it. So when he and I geek out on it, Kevin feels a bit bored. and left out, which I get. So I told him to watch Bodied, and then we can talk all kinds of hip hop stuff and get a movie review out at the same time. So as I said, I'm really geeking out on all of this right now and really enjoying it. I wanted to share it with you guys, a little intro to my, I'm sure, pretty predominantly white audience into the artistry that's available for you here on YouTube. All right. I think it's time to end the video. I'm coughing a lot. I don't know what's stuck. It's just started to come up. And it's, oh my gosh. Have we been going for, no, we've been going for an hour, not 2. All right, good. All right. Yeah, come back. Tomorrow, I guess. Is it tomorrow night? Yeah, tomorrow night. I have got that thing set up with Michael Rollins. We'll see. Rollins. No, row your boat. Rollins. Come on the channel and maybe do a movie review. I'm going to confirm with him that he's actually watched it before I do that. And then I've got Rich Penny on Wednesday of this week, and he and I are going to chat about what? I don't know, but we've been DMing each other going, we should chat. Yeah, we should totally chat, but not this week. Yeah, this week's busy for me too. How about next week? Yeah, let's check in next week. And we've been doing that like for 2 months now. So just go and get it over with. And then I guess the final thing I'll say is that I did another hangout. Kevin, I'm really sorry, you guys. Kevin sent me a link because Sargon of Akkad had messaged him almost immediately after the first hangout saying, Kevin, if you ever want to do a talk on your channel, that's fine. I'd be up for that. And you can even invite Kristi. So Kevin had Sargon on last night, and it was, I should probably do a proper response to it, which I will. But I will say that Carl brought more game to last night's interaction, which is good. You know what it means? It means he can learn. And I was, he is capable of taking in information and growing as a person. And I think that's great because he needs to do that more often. But the game he brought was, Kristi, are you married? Kristi, are you going to freeze your eggs? It had nothing to do with ideas or anything. In fact, when I tried to get him to articulate his ideas, all he did was like hide. So he still, in my opinion, really took the L because he came to a debate and his most powerful question was, hey, Kristi, are you married? Do you have kids? I'll take that as a no. Like, okay, man, if that's the game you're playing, you go ahead. But anyway, you can go check that out on Kevin's channel. It's another shit show. It's a lot of yelling and Carl and I butting heads and me being snarky. So if that's your thing, you can go check that out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here hopefully Monday night for, I hope, another rap video discussion or rap content discussion, and maybe Wednesday night as well. So thanks to the, you know what, hold on, I'll tell you what. I see there are 24 people in the hangout, and I think I can go on my own channel. Oh, shut up, Kristi. All right. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask me really quick, if you want to go ahead and drop that into the comments. Okay, I'm approving comments on the live stream as we speak. But you guys love my passion. Oh, thanks. KSI, yes. Boxer. He kind of blew up with the boxing thing with his beef with Logan Paul, but what the beef kind of came out of was, well, he was doing the rap stuff first, and then they did a bunch of rap battle, like disses back and forth each other in the lead up to the boxing. And what I also twigged by watching this other part of YouTube and the drama was like, oh, right. This is where the whole idea for the Worski Tonka Saw contracted fight came from. I don't know this part of YouTube. Clearly Worski would be someone who does. So knowing that KSI and Logan Paul both got a lot of attention and content out of moving their kind of verbal beef into the boxing ring, you can see how, sorry again, that's basically Worski and Tonka are copying that. So if you have a question now, you have a chance. No, that's not it. You guys all seem cool. I will put links to all of these videos in the description box in the next hour or so. Please go watch the content. Please go support these artists. Also, if this like warms you up a little bit, do go to the channel No Life Shack. He's a guy that he does great reactions, and he really breaks down bars, and he understands, you know, the cultural references, the musical references, things that as an American living outside of Germany or old white lady, I don't get. There's some other good, maybe I can just put up some other good reaction videos. I said I was going to leave like 5 minutes ago, and here I am. So I'm going to get going. I've been Kristi. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the view. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. This is not like the content I normally do, but maybe check it out anyway. All right. I said that. I was Kristi. You were awesome. Goodbye until the next time, you guys. See you later.